The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again. Then his joy went and sold all that he had bought, all that he had, and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. This is the word of the Lord.
Good morning, right. I'm going to focus on the first part of that Bible reading. And as you can see, I'll put it up on the screen there. And it's the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, where a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. What on earth does that mean? Well, I'm going to try and show you an example of what it means through one of my hobbies. My children love this hobby sometimes. And this hobby, is geocaching. Now, some of you might know what geocaching is, but geocaching is a very fun hobby to do. And basically, when I was reading this passage, I thought, geocaching. It's a worldwide hobby. It is all over the world, even Antarctica, and even this week in the International Space Station up in space. Where else would you find an International Space Station? The idea is a simple one. People hide boxes. They fill it with a treasure of some sort, normally things you would find in a cracker, bad jokes sometimes, little small toys, etc. And then they publish the coordinates of that treasure, of that box, on the internet for people to find. Now, last time I checked, there is 2,268,714 geocaches around the world. There's a lot of geocaches. I haven't found all of them yet, but I'm getting there. Now, what happens is a person will go onto the internet and they will download the coordinates and they will go walking and have a very nice, fun day, hopefully with their children. Oh, there they are. Hello. And then they will go and find the treasure. How many people do you think do geocaching in the world? There's 7 billion people in the world. How many? Liz, how many do you think? Thanks. 7 billion people in the world. How many people do you think do geocaching?
Probably about 4, like your family.
4. That's nice, isn't it? Sorry? About 10%. Ooh. It's not that many, unfortunately. It's only 6 million. So 6 million people, like myself, do geocaching. So there's quite a lot. The boxes themselves come in all different shapes and sizes. You can get large ones, like this box here. You can get smaller ones, like that. You can get the really small. That's a euro coin, just to show you the size of those. And then you can get just the very, very tricky ones, like that. Very, very difficult to find. And then we have different types of themed geocaches. So you might see some familiar churches there. They all have geocaches near them or on their building, etc. And a lot of people go around just getting church geocaches, in fact. So what on earth has geocaching got to do with the Bible passage? Well, just like the man in the field, a geocacher, once he finds or she finds the treasure, they replace it again. They don't take it home with them. That would spoil the game for everyone else. They put the geocache back. The main difference between my hobby and the Bible, of course, is the joy that you get when you're geocaching. That's me, a little bit younger, on my first geocache. That was the first one I ever found. St. Mary Magdalene Church, I believe it was. And as you can see, quite happy. Luckily, though, for my wife, I didn't then go back home and say, right, that's it. I've got to sell everything I own to start doing this hobby full time. No, I wasn't that overjoyed. However, the man in the Bible story was overjoyed. He was when he found the treasure. So what on earth could that treasure have looked like? Now, I do need some audience participation this time. So, what kind of thing, or what kind of treasure did that man find? What would it look like? So I'm going to start at the front here. Girls, what would the treasure look like? Who wants to go first?
No.
Warner, would you like to start off? What kind of treasure? What does treasure look like, Warner?
All shapes and sizes, I guess. Emeralds, maybe.
Emeralds, yes, that's a good one. Oh.
Gold.
Gold.
Minecraft.
Gold like on Minecraft. Okay, that's interesting. Anyone else? Any ideas what the treasure might have looked like? Is there a hand up there? Interactive talk this.
£2,000.
£2,000. Impressive. That's a lot of money. Anyone else? Oh.
Animals.
Could have been animals. Animals.
Rubies.
Rubies. I feel like Annika Rice doing treasure hunt.
Pirate sword.
Oh, a pirate sword. Oh, that's a good one as well. Maybe one with loads of jewels on it. Excellent. Anyone else? Anyone at the back so I can run up and down? Good. Right. Okay, so interesting idea there about what the treasure might have looked like. And again, it gives us an idea of why did Jesus use that idea of treasure buried in a field. Where would we put our treasure? Where would we put our £2,000, for instance? Yes. On a beach. Excellent. I wouldn't put it on a beach personally, but you might do. That's a really good idea, definitely. How would you know how to find it again? X marks the spot. I like that. Yes, you would have a map. X marks the spot, definitely. Do you know what? You're not a million miles away. So, that's better. Back in time. This is a map. I'm a geography teacher, so I do like maps. This is a map of the area where Christ was doing his ministry in 2,000 years ago. They didn't have banks, really, back then. So if they wanted to bury their treasure, their £2,000 worth of treasure, they would literally just dig a hole in the land that they owned, put the treasure in there, cover it up, and then obviously they knew that it was safe. So you're quite right. It might have been a beach, but they would have had maybe a map. They might have just kept the location secret, and it was obviously in their mind for when they needed that treasure. So it was really, really safe. And that brings us to another question, really, about the Bible question. Was the man being dishonest when he found this treasure? Because he didn't own the land. That's why he went and sold everything to buy the land. So was he being dishonest when he found it? Any ideas? Was he being dishonest? Silence. I'll let you know then. So, when a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy he went and sold all that he had and brought that field. He wasn't being dishonest at all. He actually sold everything he had to buy the field so that he could then be the rightful owner of that treasure. Some people say, well, he was being a little bit dishonest because he didn't tell the field owner that there was loads of treasure in the field before he brought it. However, the law at the time said that you were being honest if you brought the field and then had the treasure, because it was the knowledge of where the treasure was that was important, not the actual owning of the field. So that man in the Bible story was being completely and utterly honest. And that maybe gives us a link into what our faith should be like. Our faith should be honest and true. Question 2. Why was the treasure hidden? Now, I was when I was planning this little talk, I had a little bit of a problem with this one, because it's like, that's a difficult one to try and get across, isn't it? And then Newsround came to save me. Did anyone hear the newspaper report or the news about the famous painting that was sold recently for lots and lots of money? Yeah? Okay, it was a painting by Francis Bacon, and it became the most expensive artwork ever sold at auction. It is that painting. £89 million. Who agrees that it's worth £89 million? No? Why is that?
Well, I can't quite make out what's going on. So it's a mystery to me, and not a lot of colour in it, and it doesn't impress me at all, Paul.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I don't get it either, to be honest. I rather like paintings of landscapes. Again, being a geographer, I love landscapes. It's a little bit dull to me, really. It doesn't really excite me at all. And if you look closely at the actual image of the face, there's all sorts going on. I just don't understand. And that's a little bit like the owner of the field that didn't know that the treasure was there. He was clueless. He didn't know that there was treasure there. And that really reminded me that it's like the message in the Bible. For some people, the message, even if they hear it, remains hidden. People just go on and they lead their daily lives. Even if they read the Bible, they just don't get that message. It doesn't transform them. But like the person in the Bible, they find that hidden treasure and they suddenly go, that's what life means. And they sell everything to be part of that treasure, which is heaven. And so really, it's a bit like that photograph or that painting for me. I personally don't get it. So that would be hidden to me, that message. The Bible, I get that. That message comes out loud and clear for me. But the hard bit. How do we get that treasure? Is it just as simple as reading the Bible every day? What do you reckon? Is it that simple? I've got a few shakes of the head. No, it's not that simple, is it? The man in the Bible story had to own everything he had to get the field. And we often say that to really appreciate something, it needs to be hard. It needs to be worth doing. So I thought I'll give you another example of my little life. I was in Norway recently, and I had to climb. Well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to climb a nice rock face. It was pretty difficult. I was all harnessed up, etc., so it was perfectly safe. The only problem was that every so often you had to unharness one of the harnesses, clip it back on, and then unclip the other one. So it was just a little bit tricky. And as you can see, I'm smiling away there on the right-hand side. I don't know if that's a smile of happiness or fear. But it was difficult. I wasn't looking forward to it on the day, but it was good. I managed to do it. It was difficult, but I did get a really good sense of achievement. And that's what the Bible story is really telling us, isn't it? It's going to be difficult following Jesus. It's going to be difficult at times. There's going to be some sacrifices. You might need to sell everything you own, as it says in the Bible there. But the reward in the end is going to be that place in heaven. So it's going to be worth it in the end. And to bring back the geocaching example again, these are geocaching coins that you can buy, and you can track them all over the world, so you can actually see where the coins go. And this is one that's been inspired by Christianity, and it's the Narrowgate geocoin. And again, if you're following Jesus, then sometimes it's difficult. In the Bible it says that you need to strive to enter by the narrow gate. Not everyone can enter it. And so it is difficult, but it is worth it in the end. Now, you've got some homework to do. If most of you entered by the front of the church, you would have passed the geocache. Okay? So you've got to try and find it. Now, I'm not expecting you all to rush out. Some of you might do. Any takers? Excellent, excellent. So there's a geocache outside. Okay? The only clue I'm going to give you is that the clue is in the Bible. It's in Matthew 16:18. You're looking for a key word in there, really. And if you've been taking notice, it's another clue, of what I've been saying, it'll be even easier to find. So you need to be looking around when we leave church today. Now, inside the geocache, there is a little hymn. I've taken the hymn, a well-known hymn, that really sums up what it's like to follow Christ. And what I want you to do is just to read that hymn, maybe go back home, find out the rest of the hymn, how it goes, maybe listen to it, and really just reflect on how that hymn is reflected in your own life. And then obviously replace the treasure so others can find it as well.